Hello, goddesses. Today we are talking about a topic that is very close to my dear heart, Venus retrograde. It is starting this week on March 1st and going through April. My name is Ashley Rose. I am an astrologer, human design reader, and feminine energy mentor. And we are going to be talking about how this year's 40 days and 40 nights of Venus retrograde, first in Aries and then in Pisces, is going to impact your life, your love life, your relationships, your money, honey. So let's get started. So there's a few things to think about when we're talking about the upcoming Venus in retrograde, which begins on March 1st of this year and goes all the way until April 12th. Okay, when we are thinking about Venus, it's important to know what Venus rules in astrology. What kind of energy are we talking about when we're talking about Venus? We're talking about very feminine energy, very creative energy. We're talking about love, sex, sensuality, money, the fine things in life, fur. Remember, Venus was the Roman goddess, the equivalent of the Greek Aphrodite. So when you think about those photos of Aphrodite being born and those paintings, those Renaissance paintings, and she's like coming out of the sea and she's standing on the oyster shell and there's pearls and angels around her. This is Venusian energy. Venus is where we find pleasure in our lives. Venus is the senses, our sense of taste, touch, smelling, hearing, sight. Venus is high art, visiting museums and going to art galleries and the theater, opera. Venus is all of Hollywood, the movies, modeling. Venus rules over all of these things in our lives. And for those of us, on a more personal level, Venus can often impact, if you're looking at where Venus is in your chart and what sign your Venus is in, what house your Venus is in, Venus can impact how you enter relationships, how you receive love, how you give love, and how you make money and how you attract what you desire in life. Remembering that, money is a massive part of life, and also it's not everything. We can attract partners. We can attract job opportunities. We can attract new communities and friendships. We can attract travel and exciting adventures. And if you've been following me for a while, I am the Bliss Queen on Instagram. You know that my community is all about attracting that dream life, that abundance. And a lot of that is really down to getting super embodied in your own personal Venusian energy, because your Venus energy is going to be different than my Venus energy. Again, you can see a lot of that by looking at your own chart, looking at what's happening with Venus in your chart, what sign, house, or aspects it's making. And if you're interested in more about that, you know where to find me. Go ahead and book a reading so we can look at that. Anyway, when Venus goes retrograde in the sky, Venus literally goes from being in the evening star to where she's showing up at night to becoming the morning star when she's going retrograde. And in this process, Venus is also becoming even closer to the Earth in her rotational elliptical pattern. Okay, stay with me here. What this means is that even though Venus is so-called retrograde and looks like she's moving backwards in the sky, she's actually closer to the Earth in her elliptical pattern than she normally is. So her influence on us earthly beings and the things that are happening down here is stronger. You might be familiar with this when you think about Mercury retrograde and how Mercury retrograde really brings up very mercurial topics. Venus retrograde does the same. Okay, so we are going to be over the next 40 days from March 1st to April 12th, these Venusian topics of love, relationships, abundance, attraction, magnetism might be playing an even bigger role in our lives because of this retrograde action. Now, some things to really understand is that this Venus begins retrograde while she's in the sign of Aries. And she's going to retrograde from Aries back into Pisces until she goes direct again on April 12th. So we're going to get two very different flavors of Venus that we're going to be living under over the next few weeks. When Venus is in Aries, like she is now, Venus is fiery. She's bold. She's independent. She is a leader. She is a pioneer. When Venus is in the sign of Mars, which is Aries, she can also almost take on some kind of Mars-like qualities. If you are a man or a woman or someone with Venus in Aries, you might be the kind of person that likes to pursue, to go after your love interest. The Venus in Aries isn't necessarily going to be demure and lay around and wait for someone to come get her. She is going to find her target and go after her target. Venus in Aries is very much a leadership position. I believe Rihanna. She's a very similar chart to mine, so I love to look at our similarities and differences. We're both Pisces Sun, Aries Moon. However, I believe that Rihanna is also an Aries rising and an Aries Venus, if I remember it correctly. Think about how Rihanna, she literally became one of the first billionaire women in the entertainment industry. And she did that through not just her own music career and being a singer, but by creating this multi-million dollar, billion dollar empire through her beauty brand, Fenty Beauty. And if you have seen the Fenty ads, the women are strong and they are straightforward and they are making a statement. And that is very Venus and Aries. So you can really see how Rihanna's Venus and Aries energy comes out in her branding for her, again, billion dollar empire that she's created. She is a boss babe. That is Venus and Aries energy, right? So when we are all under this influence of Venus and Aries over the next few weeks, we might be feeling a bit more of that, like, I'm that bitch, I'm that girl type of energy. We might be getting ready in the morning, going out to see the world, to go to work and listening to our pump up tunes. We might be finding that we want to dress more fiercely. Maybe we want longer nails. Maybe we want to be wearing a black leather jacket or fishnet stockings or like those boots that you have with the tiny stiletto heels on them. All of that energy, that fiery femme fatale energy is very Venus in Aries. So if you're finding that your fashion or your style is kind of changing a little bit to update itself with the Venus energy, that could be one way that this is expressing itself in your life. When it comes to relationships, because we cannot talk about Venus without talking about relationships, you might really feel that assertiveness, that go get 'em attitude when it comes to your relationships. Okay, so if you are currently partnered, you might find that you are wanting to up the spice a little bit in your relationship and really enjoy each other in bodily ways, getting those senses activated, if you know what I'm saying. If you are single but looking to mingle, you might find that when Venus is in Aries, you are more likely to go out to the club. You are more likely to accept those dinner invitations to be out on the town. Venus in Aries wants to be seen. She's assertive. She's a little self-centered, which is okay because this is the energy. This is how she's meant to be. And she wants to be seen. I am going to age myself here as a millennial, but if you guys remember that song from like the early 2000s, like, I want to be bad, makes me feel so good. And like there's like girls in the video, like, riding around on motorcycles and their little tank tops and short skirts and probably like kicking dudes and stuff. That is Venus and Aries energy. Okay. So kind of channeling that over the next few weeks is something you can do as an embodiment practice to really begin practicing embodying Venusian energy. And if you have this energy already in your chart, you might be finding that this feels very home to you. This feels good. Okay, well, what happens when Venus goes retrograde in Aries? Okay, because this is what we're talking about here. When Venus goes retrograde in Aries, that brings up specific opportunities and also specific challenges. When Venus is retrograde in the sky, Venus energy is turned inward into ourselves. It's a much more introspective energy. So I already talked about how Venus in Aries typically is a very dynamic, very bold, very fiery, very go get them type of sign, attitude, feeling, embodiment. Venus in Aries retrograde still has that fiery, passionate filter. However, that might be turned inward, and you might be under the entire Venus retrograde period assessing your own self-worth, your own self-value, your own role in different relationship patterns that maybe you have experienced throughout your life. Especially when Venus goes retrograde, there is a tendency for exes and former partners to try to wiggle their way back into your DMs. Now, you are your own person with free will. You can decide if you're going to say yes or going to say no to these people. But just know, you heard it here first, that Venus retrograde over the next 40 days might be a time where everyone is becoming more reflective and introspective about past relationships and past partnerships and past, maybe even hurts. And so if you have exes coming back to you, this could be why. Okay. The self-worth, self-value piece is one that I really, really, really want to kind of underline in today's episode. And especially because I'm actually launching a masterclass next Wednesday, March 5th, right in the after Venus goes retrograde on March 1st. And the masterclass is called Venus retrograde and exactly how to be that girl and attract everything you desire. The art of feminine magnetism. We're going to be going deep, deep, deep into, again, because Venus wants to be introspective. We want to reflect on ourselves during this Venus period. And this masterclass is going to go deep on how you can use your own feminine qualities to enhance your radiance, enhance your magnetism, and begin attracting what it is that you truly desire in life. Perhaps you desire a loving relationship. Maybe you've been through some things and you are ready for that mature adult fairy tale relationship. And I'm here to tell you that that is possible for you because it's possible for me. I have a fairy tale relationship, romance with my marriage, and I absolutely love working with women and guiding women so that they can also have this type of experience if they choose. If you are wanting to attract more abundance, maybe you've been really in that scarcity mindset. Maybe you've been really, impacted financially over the last few months and you are sick and tired of being afraid to check your bank account, turning down social events because you don't know if you have enough money to go out to eat or go out for drinks or whatever. Or maybe you're doing fine when it comes to money, but you have hit a plateau, you've hit a ceiling in your business and what you are bringing in, and you are sick and tired and you're ready for something new, something more. This masterclass is perfect for you because it's going to help you to work with these upcoming Venus retrograde energies to really begin to embody that girl that gets exactly what she wants, exactly what she desires, in alignment with her true heart desires. And we're going to be using the Venus in retrograde energy to help us create a framework for that. Okay, so if that sounds really interesting to you and you want to join the free masterclass, it's inside my monthly moon membership, the Bloom Collective. I will have links for you to join that. And there will also be replays if you are not able to attend live. Okay, so back to the Venus and magnetism connection. Why does Venus have anything to do with manifestation and abundance anyway? Well, here's the thing, ladies. Venus is the ultimate planet of magnetism and attraction, okay? Venus is that planet, and the way that Mars is all about ambition. It's that more masculine energy planet, remembering that we all both have masculine and feminine and neutral energy. Mars is how you get what you want, how you go out there, how you hustle, how you get what you want through work, through effort, through discipline, through masculine drive. Venus is how you attract everything that you want in life. And we all know those women who just seem to just effortlessly pull in beautiful vacations, tropical experiences, wealthy men who just want to fly them around the world. Or maybe we admire those women who just seem to have this amazing business sense, and whatever they build, whatever they touch, it turns to gold. And they can do no wrong when it comes to creating business and commerce. Whatever that is, whether you're looking for the money side of Venus or the relationship side of Venus, learning how to embody this Venusian magnetism and attraction is going to be one of your greatest superpowers as a woman. And I really want to underline this because I feel like, we all have different ways of expressing ourselves. My way of being ultra feminine might look different than your way. It might look different than your best friend's way. And all of our ways are fine. We are all unique wildflowers. We are all stardust, just here to live our best lives, okay? And I want to let you know that the more intimate you become with your own Venus sign and how you attract and magnetize what you desire into your life, the stronger your feminine essence will be, the more that you will be able to expand and hold what you desire. Because a lot of receiving, it's like, can you even receive what you claim you want? But that's a little special trick for my students and members of the Bloom Club. But this is really, really important information as a woman, as anyone, because again, we all have Venusian energy. We all, we have masculine friends who might have even stronger Venus energy than we do, because they are very good at embodying Venus energy. Or I love it when I see, like I go to drag brunch or something like that here in Denver. We have a lot of that going on here. And a lot of the women that are performing, they are so embodied in their Venusian energy. So this is not a gender thing. This is an embodiment, energetic thing that we are discussing here. Okay. And also how intimate you are with Venus in your life and also what Venus is doing in the sky. That's why we track both what our natal Venus is doing and then also what Venus is doing up in the cosmos. The more that you can impact your self-worth, the more that you can impact your ability to receive. Because again, a lot of women, and I see this over and over again with my clients, I see this with my Bloom ladies, friends. A lot of women, we have been socialized through our upbringings, through society, through conditioning, that even if someone gives us something, we have a hard time receiving it. Are you the type of woman that has a very hard time receiving a compliment? Someone tells you, oh, you look beautiful today. And you turn it right back to them and say, oh, I barely slept last night. My hair is a mess. I haven't washed it in 5 days. That's a sign. You might think that you're being humble, but that's actually a sign that you have difficulty receiving. That's just a compliment. That is free. If you are someone that is recognizing the symptom in yourself of having a hard time even receiving compliments, how are you able to hold and receive the blessings that you are begging God and your angels and your ancestors to bring to you? If you cannot hold a compliment without pushing it back out, how can you hold the dream life, the desires, the soul purpose, the soul mate, the soul connections that you are saying that you want? And again, this is not really blaming anyone or anything like that. This is work that we do in my membership and things like that. So this is definitely something that you can work on. And also, that's just one symptom to be aware of. How good are you at receiving? If a friend, you go out for dinner with a friend and she says, oh, I'll get this. Do you immediately argue with her and say, no, 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 I've got this. Let's split it. You got this last time. Or, I just got a promotion so I could get it. Or, whatever. That might be another symptom. You know, if you're a woman where a man holds the door open for you, or another woman holds the door open for you, or anyone holds the door open for you, and you rush and grab it instead of gracefully walking through and allowing this person to, the stranger, to do something nice for you, how much expansion is there in your capacity to receive? I don't want to go off on a tangent because I could talk about this literally all day. But that is just, again, an example of the role that Venus has in our life, because Venus is really kind of an archetype that really stands for our capacity to receive goodness and pleasure and beauty and love in our lives. Venus is also all about authentic expression. Remember, Venus rules over art and beauty. So, how you choose to show up in the world, the art that you are attracted to, the movies, the books, the actors and actresses, how you live your life as art or not. I always try to live my life as art. I remember getting that advice, I don't know, maybe over 10 years ago from a teacher of mine. And that is something that I've held true to ever since. And then Venus is also about, especially when she's retrograde, energetic boundaries. How are you allowing yourself to be treated in relationships, at your job, with clients, out in the street with strangers? I'm just laughing because I have a joke with some of my membership ladies about, whether or not how often are you making eye contact with just like strange men in the street? Like, what are your boundaries? Are you allowing just like strangers to just like look you in the eye and do whatever? But that is something for another day. And that's just me. So again, what are some challenges we might be experiencing that we can watch out for and really work with under this Venus retrograde period that we're entering over the next 40 days? Feeling disconnected from your natural radiance might be a thing during Venus retrograde period. You might find it harder to access your natural Venusian qualities of radiance and magnetism. That's why the master class that we are doing next week is perfect, because it's really going to help you to tap into and activate and expand your magnetism and your radiance. You might find yourself really questioning your worth and questioning your values. Um, Venus retrograde, again, it's a reflection period. Retrograde, RE, reflection, introspection, review, reevaluate. And so as Venus rules over our values, you might be reevaluating what you value. Maybe for the last, 2 or 3 years, you've been valuing certain types of activities or certain types of things you've been putting your time into. And maybe now under this 40-day Venus retrograde period, you realize, you know what I used to value, what I used to hold to be very worthy to me, no longer has that same priority in my life. My priorities are changing, my priorities are shifting. How I want to show up in the world is shifting. How I value myself and for what qualities is shifting. So that might be something to explore, to consciously bring up to the surface, because again, this is going to be subconsciously happening in the background for a lot of people anyway, and that can lead to misunderstandings or disagreements or things like that. But when we make these unconscious topics conscious, which is one of the beautiful things about astrology and understanding what energies we're working with at any given moment, when we are understanding these energies and making them conscious, then we are less likely to mindlessly be getting into like fights with our best friends or fights with our partner, or like feeling down about ourselves and wondering why we don't feel as radiant or beautiful as we usually do. It's just like, oh no, Venus is retrograde. Like, whatever is triggering me, this is showing me that this is somewhere I can heal. Um, this is somewhere that I can, this is an issue that I can look deeper into. Okay. Again, relationship patterns could really be getting highlighted. Again, if you are partnered, I really want you to remember that between March 1st and April 12th, people are going to be a lot more sensitive when it comes to matters of the heart and matters of love. So please give your partner some compassion and understanding. Please give yourself some grace, compassion, and understanding. Watch if there are recurrent fights or arguments or tensions that are coming up, especially if it's on things that are from the past. Again, retrograde being about things that happened in the past relationship challenges might be resurfacing at this time. Again, not just to like trigger you and ruin your life, ruin your relationship, although some people will be breaking up, okay? But these issues are coming up also to be made aware and addressed, to be cleared, to be cleansed, to be elevated, depending on what your spiritual practice is and how good you are at working with your energy. This is alchemy, right? You can have a fight, and it can either be something that breaks you up from your partner, or it can be something that brings you closer to your partner because you are entering a deeper level of understanding and intimacy and communication. And also, financial and abundance blocks might be resurfacing during this Venus retrograde period. Okay. So, like, maybe it's like that bill that you just like forgot about and haven't been dealing with, and that issue comes back up again for you. Maybe this is also tax season too. So this is like really funny to me. As I'm thinking about this, as I'm speaking, make sure you're on top of your taxes this year, ladies, because I could see, especially Venus retrograde, there being like tax issues from the past if you have not been on top of that. So get your stuff in order now. Take this reflection time to get your taxes and your other finances in order. And again, if you're feeling stagnant in your business, maybe you are a beautiful woman, a spiritual entrepreneur, a coach, a healer, and you just feel like you've hit a plateau, you've hit a ceiling in your business. This Venus retrograde period can really bring that out. Okay. You might have issues with, I'm not wishing this on anyone, God forbid, but maybe there's late payments or client stuff happening. All of this is for you to observe what's coming up, what's coming into your field, what issues are making themselves in your field and your awareness, and then how can you address them and elevate yourself to the next level. So those problems no longer become problems because you're actually elevating to a level where those problems don't exist. There will be new problems that exist, but this won't be one of them. Okay. So really giving yourself grace. There might be days where you just are wanting to cry into your pillow and you don't want to get up because you don't feel pretty, or you're fighting with your best friend, or you're fighting with your partner, or stuff is going on with clients or money. That's real talk, what Venus retrograde can bring. However, never forget that you are the ultimate creatrix. I believe as a core value that we can create anything that we want in our lives, anything. And my life has already been living proof of that. I've had such a crazy life. I've had so many crazy experiences, going from being a journalist to a kindergarten teacher to working at the Senate, working in politics, doing policy analysis, to then becoming a lawyer and doing international trade law and doing sustainability work. And now I am a woman entrepreneur who is sailing the world with her husband with our catamaran retreat company, hosting spiritual retreats in some of the most beautiful places around the world. And then also working with women who are entrepreneurs on their astrology and human design and aligning their businesses with their natural energy. So I've done all these different things, and people are often asking, how do you pivot so fast? Or how do you do this? Or gosh, I saw you last year and you were doing this thing, and now here you are doing this thing. That's because I have a core value and core belief that I can have anything I want and I can create anything I want. And for me, that really comes down to being so embodied in my Venus energy and my feminine energy, and remembering that everything is created both with masculine and feminine, the sperm and the egg. However, the great mother is the one who actually births the entire world, right? We have Mother Nature. We have our own mothers in our matrilineal line that birthed us. We are great creator beings here as reflections of God himself, herself. We are fractals of the universe. We are stardust. Anything that has ever been created or ever will be created, we have that capacity within us. And we hold that within our womb space, within our heart. And again, this is not gender specific. Men have womb spaces too. They're called haras, Hara. Men create too. And so when you begin to play around with energetics, when you begin to play around with what's happening with the cosmic energies in the sky, when you begin to rewire how you see your life and how you show up in the world and who you accept yourself to be, because again, we can constantly change. Oh, I'm a journalist, I'm a teacher, I'm a political analyst, I'm a catamaran sailor. Okay, it's all fluid. You can decide who you are, who you be, and how you show up in the world. And for me, getting clear on my magnetism and my ability to attract what I desire is the way that I go about living this dream life. And that's how I work with my clients and my ladies in my membership and what I teach in my master classes and what I want for you. If you've watched the video this far, this means that there's something in you that is really resonating with these topics. I want you to remember the power that you have. I'm not actually teaching anything new. Getting in touch with cosmic energies and our feminine energies and our ability to magnetize and attract. This stuff is as old as the universe. These are cosmic universal principles that we are just remembering and embodying. Okay. So I would love to invite you, if this is something that is interested you, if this is something that you want to know more about, you come to this master class. We're going to be talking about that Venus retrograde energy even deeper and exactly how to be that girl and attract everything you desire. Okay, getting deep, deep, deep into the art of radiant magnetism, how you can bring this magnetism, this attraction energy into your own life. Okay. Understanding that this Venus retrograde is nothing to be scared of. It is actually providing the perfect cosmic backdrop for your next level transformation. I love you so much, and I can't wait to see you soon. Bye.